Black Myth Wukong was an amazing game, topping the Steam charts, and had some incredible bosses. But today we're going to be ranking the hardest bosses. Starting off at number 10, we have Non-Able. This is a pretty fast boss. Unlike most bosses, you won't be dying to him because you run out of flasks. He will just straight up one-shot you with his combo and completely catch you off guard with his pure speed and raw punching power. His first phase starts off with low kicks and him turning into a fidget spinner for some reason. But when you're finally able to get his first phase down, he decides to take off the gloves
I'm in danger!
and start fighting you for real. He turns from non-able into very able as he proceeds to turn you into a nice pancake with some extra syrup. Next up, we have the Whiteclad Noble. This is the first two-phase boss you fight in the entire game. He is pretty agile with his quick movement, and by the time you finally get him down in his first phase, you realize he has a second phase and he didn't hear no bell. This man turns into a snake and acts like you're supposed to be in a press when you've been seeing all these other furry creatures running around. This man will generally just kill you through his long attack chains, and you will just die from boredom waiting for the attack chain to finally end, or him just running you dry of your Sunny D flasks. At number 8, we have Cyan Long. The boss fight starts out slow and simple, but it's all just a bait. That's until he decides to stop playing around and buff his sword with lightning. When he does this, he turns into Thor the Thunder God and proceeds to fly through you like Palpatine did to the Jedi Masters, slicing and dicing you up. Just 2 hits from the shock therapy sword, and you'll be right back at the shrine thinking about your life choices and wondering how you got here. Your best choices are to stun him after he hits you so you can safely heal, or dash away, or transform and allow you to get your health back. The next up, we have the 100-Eye Taoist Master. In this fight, you're graced with your 4 friendly neighborhood spider ladies as they proceed to gank him and do pitiful damage. They're just there to add some more flair to the boss, but they're pretty much cannon fodder and don't really do any damage. The boss will actually take more damage if you die and restart the boss fight. And on top of that, this boss is insanely difficult to hit because he's always moving around and your staff somehow swings in between his little legs and you proceed to miss every hit. Well, that's not even the worst part. When you finally back this man into a corner, it becomes the god of time and space, slowing your movement down and reducing your stamina by half. Not only that, but this man decides to rain 1,000 missiles from above, like I'm carrying a bucket of oil. To make this a lot easier, you're supposed to use the needle while he's in this phase, but God can only know when I picked that up, nor do I even remember having it in the first place. Let's talk about the Tiger Vanguard. You meet him while he's having his 5-star buffet on some rats, and he's excited to see that a new treat has entered the menu. This fight is extremely fast as he uses a great katana to absolutely demolish you. He also will mix this up by using his fist sometimes, so it can get a little confusing. The one nice thing though is that he tends to call out his attacks sometimes before he actually does them. This makes his attacks a lot more telegraphed and easy to read. He can parry your abilities, but I think one of the hardest things about him is the camera tracking and the fact that he will just go off screen, disappear, and then proceed to one-shot. The best thing about this boss is that it teaches you why Tigris was in the Furious 5. Next up, we have the Yellow Wind Sage. He is the final boss of Chapter 2, and for good reason. This man is holding a head, and the second he stops holding the head, he turns into a demon. But on top of him going demon mode, he throws up a massive amount of sand so you can barely see anything. It's like we're in a sandstorm. I thought I wasn't wearing my glasses for the boss fight, but I was, and I still couldn't see anything. Then when the boss is feeling tired and he doesn't feel like fighting, he's just allowed to leave the arena whenever he pleases. The rat comes at you like you got the last piece of cheese in the desert. He tosses you around like a rag doll, and there's nothing you can do about it. You're supposed to be this all-powerful monkey, and he makes you look like a beta bitch. Next up on the list, we have Wandering White. For the second boss you fight in the game, this man is an absolute menace to society. Papa Smurf over here killed me the second most time out of any boss in the entire game. With his insane fast-hitting combos, his massive health bar for what it feels like for having no spells, gigantic AoE that feels like it covers the entire map, and on top of that he has this Kamehameha move that sends you to Narnia if he hits you with it. The boss feels like it has so many different movesets, and it's a fun boss to fight, but it just feels like it should be a bit later in the game and not the second boss. Oh my god, that's so delayed. Oh! Next up we have the Yasha King. His origins is from a child that you were beating on only 5 minutes ago, and he had one of the best glove transformations I've ever seen in my entire life, turning into an absolute demon. When the boss fight initially starts, your little friend over there, Baji, acts all hyped out like this is going to be an easy fight, but the second this man transforms, he's out of there faster than the stock market crash in the Great Depression. This is also where the boss fight truly begins, as this man has the Go-Go Gadget Extendo arms, where his blades cover the entire map, but he likes to copy my boy Papa Smurf's massive ground AoE, except this one hits way harder and it's probably even bigger. This boss is insanely aggressive, always keeping up the pressure, and if you ever think you can get away from distance, he just has these giant AoEs that catches you off guard, but he has these weird horizontal and vertical slash that's just designed to mess you up and force you into making a mistake. Overall, this boss has some really nice quick and delay attacks and some massive AoEs that can completely obliterate you if you're not on your toes. Enjoyed this boss fight. I love the cinematic nature of it with the nice visuals and the overall quick pacing. It felt really fun and high action, which is what I really enjoy in a boss. The only move in this boss fight that I didn't like was the massive AoE. I don't think I dodged it one single time. Let's be honest, that move is complete bullshit, and if someone actually dodged it, please let me know down in the comments below, because I could not figure out how to dodge that for the life of me. Next up, we have Yellow Long, the final boss of all the Longs. This guy is kind of like Scion Long, but on steroids. His lightning fast dash is now even more strong and potent, as it has a really long delay, and then it snaps and it's pretty much unreactable, and when it hits you it does a bunch of damage. You kind of need a stopwatch for this boss for all the delays he has up his sleeve. Another thing that can be quite annoying is his long attack chains. It feels like he's done attacking, but then he always has one more in him, or just one more extra flip just to catch you off guard when you stop rolling. It can be quite annoying, and it's just chip damage that will slowly wear down your health, but this man will also continue to parry you throughout the entire boss fight, showing you why he's better than you and why he should be called the Destined One. We made it, boys. The hardest boss in the game, without question, Erlang the Sacred Divinity. He is a true god of war. He probably killed me more than the top 5 bosses on this list combined, absolutely putting me through the ringer and questioning why I'm even still playing this game. Let's talk about why he's difficult. He has a block bar that greatly reduces your damage. You can't use Immobilize, or he'll just reverse Uno card and use it on you, so he gets a free hit. Every time I tried to summon in the boys, this god would just hit me and knock me out of it, wasting my mana. So I would just end up only using my dash for this boss fight to run away and heal. But I would say the hardest part about this boss is just simply that he has so many different moves you have to memorize and learn how to dodge. He has a lot of quicks, timings, and delayed attacks, but nothing he uses really felt cheap, or if you took one ability out, he'd be super easy. So overall, I think he felt like a very fair boss, unlike Melina in Elden Ring, where I feel like you take out her waterfall dance and she's a complete meme boss, not even breaking the top 10 in the Souls games. But this guy, he just felt like he had no cheap tricks up his sleeve. Everything felt fair, and he was just difficult because he had so many different move sets, and you had to learn how to memorize all of them. All the quick delays and the timings were always telegraphed with a visual flash, so you could react dodge to it once you figured out what the visual cue was to dodge. Like how when he's raining down swords on you, the light will flash red, and once you notice that, you can dodge that a lot easier. Or how when he shoots his Superman laser at you, his eyes will flash before he does so, and once you figure that out, you can dodge that relatively easy. For you to truly be able to beat him, you just need to learn all the timings, which feels very fair and rewarding when you do so, which is how a boss should feel when they're very hard. Not just spam one move, and if you took one move out, the boss would be extremely easy.